Hey there. I'm just gonna show real fast some clip behaviors. I've been requested to show a little demonstration and a little tutorial about how clips in session view work. And what I did, I didn't grab one of my own tracks, but what I did was I grabbed a track that had stems off of Splice. It's just mostly for demonstration purposes. So this is what the track sounds like right now. So basically, that's kind of the track that we're going to be pulling apart. Um, so if you notice, like if you click into it, if you double click, usually this is you'll see a view like this. But if you drag this little arrow out right here, you can basically change the clip behaviors. So if you say, I'll go over to here, kind of a better example. Um, But like if I wanted to say, for live purposes, if I wanted to go and perform it, like if I was performing a DJ set or if I was performing with a band, you can do a lot of really crazy stuff with this. So if you like what I did was I kind of went ahead and notice that if you open this up again right here, you get this window right here. Normally this would be turned off, but if you turn it on, it shows you, these two little drop down menus, and this is kind of like a crossfader right here. Um, it's basically saying, okay, well, you can have two different actions, action A and action B. And you can set it to, chances of, if you slide it around, just experiment with it. It basically says, okay, 50% chance it'll be next, or there'll be a 50% chance that there'll be nothing. Or you can drop down and say, well, maybe a 50% chance I want it to go back to the beginning. Or you can make it jump to a specific clip, which is saying, oh yeah, clip one, clip two. And that's basically referencing the clips in the same track. So if you notice, it says, okay, well, it's going to go back to one. That would actually be where it says intro. So let's just put it back to no action because I wanted to do that all the time. And so if you notice here, it says linked, and that's basically saying that the selected clip is going to be linked to the time. So if you have it unlinked, you'll basically get this little drop down, this little arrow, and you can slide it wherever you want. And it basically says, once it gets to that point, then it'll either stop playing or go to the next one, the next loop, the clip under it. I like to have it linked because you have a little bit more control if you're messing with loops or whatever, and you can even tell it how many times to loop before it even gets to these actions. So I'm gonna do a little demonstration right here. So it's gonna do, since it's set like that, it's gonna loop twice, and then it's gonna go to the next one. I'll show you real fast. Great, now it's playing the second one below it because I told it after twice, play next. And notice that I want to go into this a little bit. So the launch behavior, you can change it. It's really cool. Like you can get really creative with this. So I like keeping it on trigger because if you press it, like Hold on, I'll go back. Oh, by the way, this is a stop all. If you have anything playing, anything like that, you can reset it. Just hit this, all the clips will stop playing. Um, you can press this if you want, just turn it off. Just anything in arrangement view just stops playing. So if you go and like if I'm playing this, so right now it's on trigger, but if I wanted to, like, if I press it again, it'll globally, like, whatever you set it to, whatever you set this to on quantize, it'll actually copy whatever you have up here. This is the global I guess quantization for the triggering. So I like to leave it at 1 bar, especially for DJ sets. I usually always leave it at that. But if I want to do something really specific, I can override that and say, okay, well, I want this to copy, like, I'll show you. This will basically say, if I press it once, since it's on trigger, it's gonna repeat again if I press it again. So I'm gonna press it again. It's gonna go back. I'm gonna press it again. Go back. And basically these triggers, like if I have it on gate, it changes its behavior. So basically it'll start playing, but the second I take my mouse off or have the button taken off, like it basically will just stop. So it'll quantize to this, so it'll stop at the next bar. So I'm gonna hold it down. Take it off. Hold it down. And then I'm gonna take it off. And that's basically what it does. It's really good for, like, just launching quick samples, or you do whatever you want with it, but that's basically what that action does. Toggle is kind of like an on-off switch. You press it once to kind of, it doesn't repeat if you press it again. What it does is just turns it off if you press it again. So I'm gonna just turn it on. Off. Press it again. On. Off. And basically that's what toggle does. Repeat is kind of an interesting one, because it'll actually like look at this quantization right here, or whatever, or this one if you have it on global, and it will basically repeat until you let go of the button. So I'm basically gonna say, okay, well, it's really cool for, like, stuttering effects or something like that. So I'm gonna leave it at 1/8, just to show you. So I'm gonna hold it down, and it's gonna repeat 1/8 notes. Yeah, and it's basically going to keep playing until you let it go. And that's kind of like, the gist of that. The legato, basically, I don't hardly ever use it, but, it basically, what it does is it holds the, like, the placement in which it, the time, it basically keeps the time. So, like, if you have a clip playing, like, up to 9, and it's just, it's playing up to here, it'll keep the clip playing. Like, if you have a clip under it or something and you play that, it'll continue off of whatever you set it to measure 9. That's basically what it'll do. Like I said, I don't normally use that, especially for live sets, because I set all my cue to, like, I set all my cue points, and like, I edit everything down. But yeah, I mean, you could be pretty creative with all of this. And so what I want to get into kind of like making your own edits. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this down real fast, and I'm going to control or command click drag, and you're going to make a copy of it, or you can command D it. Either one, it'll just make a completely new one. I'm going to put this back into trigger because I'm used to it that way. And so basically it's like, if you wanted to just get the drop or something, like you wanted to make a loop point, you can say, okay, well, I want, I just want this part right here, like, and this is the start point, and you can basically you can set it wherever you want, and so this is basically like the end point, so you can set that wherever you want. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna duplicate this, Command D, and I'm basically gonna edit. I'm basically gonna set cue points. So pretty much, I'm just gonna put the drop in. So if you drag this over a little bit, this is about where the drop is. So then you'll get. Let me rename this drop. So basically, all I'm gonna get is the drop. And it's not gonna loop because loop needs to be on for it to loop. On the other hand, what you could do, if like say you have a track and you're just like, okay, well, I don't want to worry about it. I want it to loop, after it gets to a certain point, and I just want it to loop until I stop it. Yes, that's very possible. So what you could do is you can say, okay, well, I can have the full track. Let me just rename this full with loop. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over and I'm just going to leave this alone for now. And so this little bar that's right here, I'm basically going to slide this over to where I want the loop to start. And I'm going to basically say, okay, well, I need you to loop, and you just turn this on. And what it's going to do is it's going to start here, but once it gets to here, once it gets to measure 9, it's going to start looping infinitely. Especially since I don't have a follow action. And that's exactly what I want. So basically, this is what it sounds like. So basically, it's just going to keep looping over and over again. Now I kind of want to get into something a little bit more intermediate with clip behavior. So essentially what I have going on, if you look at this like scene right here, you can launch scenes. And it's basically like, if you have like a full set of like, clips that you want launched at once, this is the button to do it, like these buttons right here. And you could even change BPM from here too. This is really helpful, especially when like, you're queuing up stuff and you like just want to worry about one button. So what I could do is like, if I was doing something like this, if I went the intro, and then I were to launch it. So yeah, that's kind of like what this does over here. And what I want to get into is I want to get into kind of like basically kind of a more complex action. So what I have right here is I just have like a part going on, and it's just like, I want it to be a little bit more interesting, but maybe I want to like chop up the vocal without having to like, go and edit and rebound. What you can actually do is what I did was I set this to loop twice, and it was just like, if you have a singer or something, say you have a singer or vocalist on a track, and you're like, oh, I want to make room for that, but I still want those like cool little chops. What I did was I kind of like went ahead and chopped the main vocal, and you can do that with reading just the same file. Um, so what happened was, after 2 times of repeating, I made it go down to this one right here, and this is what this one sounds like. And so basically what's going on here, the reason it shows audio right here, but you don't hear it, is because you can actually automate in clip view. So basically what I did was, like, I basically made it, so that it was only taking the first, beat, and then I was just muting this, and then first one here. You can draw everything out. If you actually press B, you could actually turn on this little pencil tool, and you can draw in, like, anything like that, and it references, I'll show you. So it references this. So basically it doesn't have gain, but it has percentage. And so anything you set it to, it basically says, okay, well, 100% would be, let's see, plus 2 dB. So basically you can do that. You can make curves, do whatever you want, draw it in. I just left it like that because I thought that was really cool. It sounded good. And so this is basically what it sounds like altogether. All right, I think that's about it. To show. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff you can do in this session view, especially when it comes to the live aspect. And that's kind of an intro to clip behaviors and kind of like how you can set them. If you have any questions, just feel free to leave a comment or message us. We'll try to answer. If we just want to help. So yeah, thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.